Mitch Nelson, a U.S. Army captain with Green Berets Operational Detachment Alpha, OTA, 595, is moving into a new home with his wife and daughter on September 11, 2001, after receiving an assignment to staff duty under Lieutenant Colonel Bowers. As news of the devastating terrorist attacks that day break,
Daddy, look.
Where the trade centers are. 2 planes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on the country. We have reported that one of the planes was an American Airlines.
Nelson volunteers to lead 595 into Afghanistan.
I'm back in my team, sir.
You don't have a team. You've been rotated to my staff. At your request, by the way.
Bowers initially refuses.
Sure.
You have a captain with no combat experience. He's never been to war. He's only led you in training. He's already been bumped up to staff. This is a career record.
With all due respect, I've spent 2 years with that fellow leading our team. If you think furthering his career is why he joined, you need to get to know your captain.
But veteran soldier CW5 Hal Spencer, previously scheduled to retire, persuades Bowers to give Nelson command of 595 again, as well as volunteering himself for the deployment.
Buds, you're not going to need it where you're going.
After leaving their families, 595 travels to Uzbekistan on October 7, 2001. After being briefed and evaluated by Colonel Mulholland, commander of 5th Special Forces Group,
I briefed 5 potential captains for this mission. About 100 years of military experience between them. But you're the only one that sees it the way it is. I choose you. You and 11 men. Task Force Dagger.
Nelson and 595 are picked to fight alongside Northern Alliance leader Abdul Rashid Dostum.
Your wheels up at 2200. Dismissed.
OTA 595 is inserted covertly in Afghanistan aboard an MH-47 Chinook flown by 160th SOAR on the 19th of October 2001. They land 40 miles south of Mazar-i-Sharif, the country's 4th largest city and a longtime stronghold of the Taliban, where they meet Dostum. 6 of the 12 members, led by Nelson, leave with Dostum to the mountains, while the other 6 remain in a fortified camp nicknamed the Alamo, under Spencer's command. Dostum is attempting to capture the northern Afghanistan city, while battling Taliban leader Mullah Razan, who rules local communities brutally under strict Sharia law and has murdered several people, including Dostum's family. Although the warlord is initially skeptical of Nelson's abilities, Nelson gradually earns Dostum's respect. In one battle, however, Dostum makes a tactical error, costing several casualties. Nelson accuses Dostum of acting carelessly with the lives of his men and of withholding valuable information.
If you want to kill your own men, that's fine, but I ain't letting you put my men in harm's way, you understand? I expect you to share strategic information with us. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing here?
While Dostum retorts that he still feels that Nelson and the U.S. are not willing to pay the potential price of the conflict, and tells Nelson that he needs to use his heart and mind to be a warrior instead of a soldier.
Greatest weapon in history is this. I don't have soldiers in my army. Not one, only warriors. Stop being a soldier. Start using this, and you can be a warrior too.
The two eventually reconcile, and, after splitting off a 3-man element under SFC Sam Diller to strike a Taliban supply route, and being joined by Spencer's half of OTA 595, continue to work together. They win several victories with Dostum's leadership and manpower and American air power, making significant progress towards Mazar-i-Sharif. Suddenly, however, Spencer informs Nelson that another OTA, 555, has been dispatched to support Atta Muhammad, another Northern Alliance leader, who is Dostum's political rival.
Headquarters inserted ODA 555 with Atta's militia.
Wait, General Atta, Dostum's rival?
When Nelson is forced to tell Dostum, the furious warlord and his men promptly abandon 595.
There's another team like mine, and they've been placed with General Atta Muhammad, and they're moving on Mazar from the southeast.
They get north to Atta.
Look, from the U.S. point of view, you're all the Northern Alliance.
Who is the U.S. to tell me what Northern Alliance is?
I'm taking my men through there, General, with or without you.
Without me and my men, you're just an army of 12. You all will die. Good luck.
Following Dostum's departure, Nelson plans to continue operating against the Taliban with his Americans and the few Afghan fighters remaining with them. Encountering a large force of al-Qaeda and Taliban fighters and armored vehicles, OTA 595, rejoined by Diller and his element, uses air support to eliminate many of the fighters and most of the armor, but are discovered and attacked. Spencer is critically injured by a suicide bomber, and the team is about to be overrun under heavy Taliban and al-Qaeda pressure when Dostum returns with his forces. Carrying out the U.S. Army's first cavalry charge of the 21st century, the American and Northern Alliance forces disperse the Taliban and al-Qaeda, and Dostum tracks down and kills Razan. After Spencer is medevaced, Nelson and Dostum continue to Mazar-i-Sharif but find Adam Muhammad has beaten them there. Against expectations, Dostum and Muhammad meet peacefully and put aside their differences. Impressed by Nelson and the Americans' efforts, Dostum gives Nelson his prized riding crop and tells him that he will always consider Nelson a brother and fellow fighter, at the same time bidding him remember that Afghanistan is the graveyard of empires. Spencer ultimately survives, and all 12 soldiers of OTA 595 return home after 23 days of almost continuous fighting in Afghanistan.